respected. If you have ever felt that your last hope is slipping through your fingers, if you have ever looked at your empty wallet and whispered, "God, are you still listening?" then this message is not a coincidence. In the next few minutes, I will share with you a 60-second prayer that has the power to shift your atmosphere, unlock your faith, and open doors of provision in ways you never imagined. But you must listen with your heart, not just your ears. There was a season in my life when everything seemed silent. The phone did not ring. Opportunities dried up. Bills piled up like mountains. And every night I stared at the ceiling wondering how tomorrow would come. I prayed long prayers. I fasted. I cried. But nothing seemed to move. Then one day I realized something that changed everything. It was not the length of my prayer that moved heaven. It was the depth of my faith. It was not the noise of my words, but the conviction behind them. Sometimes we think that if we speak for hours, God will hear us more clearly. But heaven responds to faith, not volume. Dr. Daivad often spoke about the power of vision and the fourth dimension, the unseen realm where faith begins before reality appears. He taught that what you conceive in your heart, with faith eventually manifests in your life. And I began to understand that before money could enter my hands, it had to enter my spirit as a certainty. The problem is not always the lack of money. Sometimes the problem is a wounded spirit. When your spirit is tired, when your hope is broken, when you secretly believe that nothing will change, even blessings struggle to find you. Faith is like a magnet. Doubt is like a wall. I remember meeting a man who had lost everything. His business collapsed. His friends disappeared. Even his family began to doubt him. One evening he said to me, "I have only 60 seconds of faith left." I smiled and told him that is more than enough. He began a simple practice. Every day, for just 60 seconds, he would close his eyes and say a short, focused prayer. Not begging, not complaining, not listing problems, but declaring trust, declaring provision, declaring that God is his source, not his circumstances. Within weeks, small changes began. A call here, a new idea there, an unexpected opportunity. It did not rain money from the sky overnight, but the atmosphere shifted. Confidence returned, creativity returned, courage returned. And when courage returns, action follows. When action follows, results begin to appear. You see, when we say money comes in 24 hours, many people misunderstand. It is not magic. It is not manipulation. It is alignment. When your heart aligns with faith, when your mind aligns with possibility, when your words align with trust, you create space for divine favor to operate in your life. But here is the secret that many people ignore. Keep it secret, not because it is mystical, not because it is hidden knowledge, but because doubt spreads faster than faith. When you share your seed of faith with someone who is cynical, they may water with negativity. Protect your spiritual seed in its early stages. There is power in quiet expectation. A farmer does not dig up his seed every hour to see if it is growing. He plants it, waters it, and trusts the process. Your 60-second prayer is your seed. Plant it, protect it, believe in it. Let me guide you into the heart of this prayer. Close your eyes right now, wherever you are. Imagine that your worries are not permanent. Imagine that your financial struggle is not your identity. You are not your debt. You are not your lack. You are a child of a generous God. Now in your heart, begin to say, "Father, I trust you as my source. I release fear and receive faith. I declare that you are opening doors that no one can shut. I believe that provision is already on its way. I thank you in advance for unexpected blessings, new opportunities, and divine connection. I align my thoughts, my words, and my actions with abundance. I receive your peace and I walk forward in confidence." Amen. That is it. 60 seconds. Simple, focused, faith-filled. But here is what truly activates it. After you pray, act as if it is done. When you wake up tomorrow, do not wake up as a victim. Wake up as someone expecting good news. Check your phone with hope, not anxiety. Go to work with creativity, not complaint. Speak differently. Think differently. Walk differently. Faith without action remains a wish. Faith with action becomes a movement. Many people pray for money, but they fear responsibility. They pray for increase, but they avoid growth. If more comes into your hands, are you ready to manage it wisely? If opportunity knocks, are you prepared to step through the door? Dr. Cho emphasized visualization. See yourself out of debt. See yourself paying bills with ease. See yourself helping others. See yourself giving generously. When you hold that image consistently, your subconscious mind begins to work in harmony with your faith. Your decisions start to change. You notice opportunities you once ignored. You speak with confidence you once lacked. And sometimes within 24 hours, something shifts. An overdue payment arrives. A client calls. An idea sparks that leads to income. Is it coincidence? Or is it the result of alignment? But remember this carefully. The greatest wealth is not the money that enters your bank account. It is the peace that enters your heart. Because when peace governs you, panic cannot control you. And when panic leaves, wisdom speaks. Tonight, before midnight, take those 60 seconds. Not in desperation, but in expectation. Not in fear, but in faith. Keep it between you and God. Let it be sacred. Let it be sincere. This is not about testing God. It is about trusting Him. It is not about demanding a miracle. It is about declaring dependence. Something powerful happens when a person decides, I will no longer live as if lack defines me. That decision alone begins to break chains invisible to the eye. And maybe, just maybe, the 24 hours you are about to step into will not be ordinary. Maybe they will mark the beginning of a new mindset, a new discipline, a new story. Because sometimes all heaven needs is 60 seconds of unwavering faith. There is a moment in every person's life when they must choose what voice they will believe. The voice of fear that says, nothing will change, or the whisper of faith that says, your breakthrough is closer than you think. Most people never realize that the real battle is not in their bank account. It is in their mind. I once sat across from a young woman who had been praying for financial relief for years. She worked hard. She tried different businesses. She attended seminars. Yet every time she began to rise, something would pull her back down. Finally, she confessed something painful. She said, deep down, I don't believe I deserve wealth. That sentence revealed everything. You see, if your inner belief says you are unworthy, you will unconsciously reject opportunities. You will hesitate at the door of promotion. You will sabotage relationships that could elevate you. Not because you are foolish, but because your spirit is conflicted. Dr. David taught that faith is not just hoping for something. Faith is seeing it clearly in your inner world before it appears in your outer world. If inside you still see yourself as struggling, then even when money comes, you will act like a struggler. That is why this 60-second prayer is not just about asking. It is about reprogramming. It is about shifting identity. After you pray, I want you to sit quietly for another minute and ask yourself, who am I becoming? Because wealth is attracted to responsibility. Opportunity is attracted to preparation. Favor is attracted to readiness. There was a man who began this prayer practice faithfully. On the first day, nothing obvious happened. On the second day, still nothing dramatic. But on the third day, he received a call from someone he had met years ago. That person needed exactly the skills he had developed during his quiet season of preparation. But here is what most people miss. The call did not come because of magic words. It came because during his prayer time, he stopped complaining and started preparing. He updated his skills. He improved his attitude. He refined his vision. The prayer aligned his heart, and alignment produced action. Within 24 hours, something can change. Sometimes it is external. Sometimes it is internal. And often, the internal shift is the greater miracle. Because when your confidence returns, you speak differently in interviews. When your fear dissolves, you negotiate differently in business. When your hope rises, you notice solutions where others see obstacles. The phrase, keep it secret, is powerful. Not because you are hiding something from others, but because you are protecting your faith from unnecessary interference. There will always be people who say, 60 seconds cannot change anything. They are right in one sense. 60 seconds without belief changes nothing. But 60 seconds filled with focused, unwavering trust can redirect the course of a life. Think about it. In 60 seconds, a decision can be made that alters destiny. In 60 seconds, you can choose courage over fear. In 60 seconds, you can forgive, let go, commit, start again. Why can 60 seconds of prayer not also mark a turning point? I remember a night when I had exactly 24 hours before a major financial deadline. The numbers did not add up. Logic said it was impossible. Anxiety tried to grip my chest. But instead of spiraling, I closed my eyes and repeated that simple prayer. I did not beg. I did not panic. I declared trust. Then I asked myself, if provision is already on its way, what should I do right now? And the answer was simple. Make one phone call, send one message, follow one idea that had been resting in my heart for weeks. That one step opened a conversation. That conversation led to a solution. By the next evening, the deadline was met. Was it coincidence, or was it the result of faith that activated action? When Dr. Cho built one of the largest congregations in the world, he did not begin with resources. He began with a vision so vivid that it felt real before it existed. He spoke to empty chairs as if they were filled. He thanked God for growth before he could see it. People thought he was unrealistic, but he understood something profound. Faith speaks to the future as if it is present. Tonight, when you whisper this prayer, you are not talking to emptiness. You are speaking into your future. You are declaring that lack is temporary. You are announcing that you will not bow to fear. But let me gently tell you something important. Do not measure the effectiveness of this prayer only by cash appearing. Measure it by courage appearing. Measure it by ideas flowing. Measure it by doors opening that you once thought were locked forever. Because sometimes the first sign of financial breakthrough is not money. It is clarity. Clarity about what to pursue. Clarity about what to release. Clarity about who to partner with. Clarity about which habits are draining your energy. And when clarity comes, discipline must follow. If you receive extra income tomorrow but continue careless spending, the cycle will repeat. Wealth without wisdom becomes temporary relief, not lasting change. So as you pray, also commit. Commit to learning. Commit to budgeting. Commit to generosity. Yes, generosity. It may sound strange when you are believing for increase, but giving even in small amounts shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance. It tells your spirit, I am not trapped. I am capable of blessing others. In the next 24 hours, watch carefully. Watch for subtle changes. A new idea, a reconnection, a sudden motivation to apply for something you previously avoided. These are not accidents, these are signals. And when something good happens, even something small, pause and say thank you. Gratitude multiplies what complaint destroys. Your story is not over. Your current balance does not define your future. You are in a chapter, not the conclusion. Take those 60 seconds seriously. Guard them, honor them. Let them become a daily appointment between you and God. Not rushed, not distracted, focused. Because when a person aligns their spirit, their thoughts, and their actions with faith, even 24 hours can feel like a doorway into a new season. There is something deeply powerful about midnight. It is the quietest hour. The hour when the world slows down and your thoughts grow louder. It is also the hour when fear tries to visit you the most. Bills look bigger at night. Problems feel heavier. Uncertainty whispers stronger in the dark. But midnight can also become your turning point. Many people collapse under pressure because they allow midnight thoughts to control their imagination. They picture worst-case scenarios. They replay failures. They predict disaster. And slowly, their faith drains away. What if, instead, midnight became your altar of confidence? I once knew a man who had lost his job unexpectedly. He had a family depending on him. For days he pretended to be strong, but at night he broke down. One evening, instead of drowning in anxiety, he decided to try something different. Just 60 seconds. No long speeches. No emotional drama. Just focused trust. He said, Father, you knew this would happen before I did. That means you already prepared a solution. I refuse to fear. I received direction. Show me my next step. Then he went to sleep in peace. The next morning he woke up not with panic, but with an idea he had ignored for years. He had always dreamed of starting a small service business, but fear kept him from moving. That day he made 3 phone calls. Within 24 hours, one small contract came in. It was not a fortune, but it was a beginning. And beginnings are sacred. Dr. David Cho often spoke about incubating faith like a mother carries a child. You do not rush the process. You protect it. You nourish it. You speak life over it. In the same way, when you pray this 60-second prayer, you are carrying a seed in your spirit. Do not abort it with doubt the next morning. When you say money comes in 24 hours, understand this clearly. Sometimes the money comes directly. Sometimes the opportunity that produces money arrives. Sometimes the idea that leads to wealth is planted. All 3 are answers. The danger is impatience. If by the afternoon you say nothing happened, you close the door you just opened with faith. Instead, live those 24 hours with expectation. Expectation changes posture. It straightens your back. It brightens your eyes. It sharpens your awareness. You begin to see possibilities you once overlooked. Have you ever noticed that when you desperately need something, you often feel blocked? But when you relax into trust, doors open unexpectedly. That is because desperation tightens your spirit. Faith expands it. There was a season in my own life when I tied my self-worth to my financial results. If I had a good month, I felt valuable. If I had a bad month, I felt ashamed. That is a dangerous trap. Because money is a tool, not your identity. The 60-second prayer breaks the chain. It reminds you that you are already worthy, already loved, already capable. You are not begging for scraps. You are aligning with purpose. And when purpose awakens, provision follows. Let me share something practical. After you pray, write down one action you can take within the next 24 hours. It might be updating your resume. It might be reaching out to a former client. It might be researching a new skill. It might be organizing your finances honestly for the first time. Prayer without movement becomes frustration. Movement without prayer becomes exhaustion. But when prayer and action walk together, progress becomes natural. Midnight is not just a time on the clock. It is a symbol. It represents the darkest point before a new day begins. If you can trust at midnight, you can thrive at noon. I want you to imagine something. Imagine that tomorrow evening you look back and say something shifted. It may not be millions, it may not be dramatic fireworks, but a door cracked open, a weight lifted, a conversation began. Would that not be enough to restore your hope? Hope is priceless, because a hopeful person tries again. A hopeful person dares again. A hopeful person believes again. And here's the deeper truth. Even if 24 hours pass and you do not see visible money, something still changed the moment you prayed sincerely. You strengthened your inner foundation. You declared that fear will not rule you. You trained your mind to focus on possibility instead of limitation. That inner strength compounds over time. Day after day of 60 seconds becomes minutes of conviction. Weeks of consistency become habits of faith. Habits of faith shape destiny. Keep it secret, not in arrogance, but in humility. Let your results speak. Let your peace speak. Let your transformation speak. People will begin to notice something different about you. They will ask, why are you so calm? They will wonder, why are you so confident? And you will smile knowing that every midnight you planted seeds in silence. There is dignity in trusting quietly. There is power in believing without broadcasting. Your story is unfolding even now. The chapter you are in may feel tight, but pages are turning. The prayer you whisper may seem small, but mountains have moved because of smaller acts of faith. Tonight, when the clock approaches midnight, do not scroll endlessly. Do not replay worries. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Speak those words with certainty. Then rest, because sometimes the greatest sign of faith is sleep. Sleep that says, God is working while I am resting. And when morning comes, step into your day like someone who has already been heard. There is a quiet strength that develops in a person who has learned to trust beyond what they can see. It does not shout. It does not boast. It simply stands firm. And when you practice this 60-second prayer consistently, something unshakable begins to grow inside you. You stop reacting to every negative report. You stop collapsing at every unexpected expense. Instead of saying, why is this happening to me? You begin to ask, what is this teaching me? Where is the opportunity hidden inside this challenge? That shift alone can change your financial destiny. I remember meeting an elderly shopkeeper who had gone through war, inflation, and economic collapse. Yet he carried a strange peace. His store was small, but it survived when larger businesses around him failed. One day I asked him his secret. He smiled and said, every night before I sleep, I thank God for tomorrow's customers. He was thanking before seeing, believing before receiving, expecting before experiencing. He told me that on days when business was slow, he did not panic. He would clean his shelves, organize his books, improve his displays. He prepared as if a crowd was coming. And often just when he finished preparing, customers would walk in. Preparation is a language of faith. Dr. David built his life on this principle. He spoke about calling things that are not as though they are, not in denial of reality, but in defiance of limitation. He understood that the unseen realm of belief shapes the seen realm of results. When you whisper provision is already on its way, you are not ignoring your bills. You are declaring that your current condition is not your final position. But let me speak to your heart very honestly. Money itself is not the ultimate miracle. The greater miracle is becoming the kind of person who can handle increase with wisdom, generosity, and integrity. If tomorrow you receive unexpected income, will you use it to build stability or impress others? Will you invest in growth or repeat old patterns? The prayer opens doors, but your character determines how long they stay open. Over these 4 parts, we have talked about faith, alignment, protection of your vision, action, and expectation. Now it comes down to consistency. One powerful midnight will encourage you, but 30 midnights will transform you. Imagine what would happen if for the next 20 days, You faithfully gave 60 seconds each night to focus trust. No excuses. No distractions. Just sincerity. Day after day, your mind would renew. Your fear would weaken. Your creativity would sharpen. Your courage would expand. People might say, you are lucky. But you will know it was discipline. It was devotion. It was alignment. Within 40 hours, something can begin. Within 40 days, something can build. Within a year, something can completely redefine your life. And through it all, remain humble. Remain grateful. When blessings arrive, do not forget the nights you prayed in secret. When doors open, do not close your heart to others who are still struggling. True prosperity is not measured only by what enters your account, but by what flows through your hands to bless others. Let this prayer never become a superstition. Let it remain a relationship. You are not repeating magic words. You are expressing trust in a faithful God. Tonight, when you close your eyes, do it with confidence. See yourself free from financial anxiety. See yourself walking in dignity. See yourself making wise decisions. Feel the relief as if it has already arrived. Then speak the words slowly, clearly, intentionally. Father, you are my source. I release fear. I receive faith. I declare that doors are opening, ideas are forming, favor is surrounding me. I thank you for provision that is already moving toward my life. I commit to act with wisdom and courage. I trust you completely. Let those 60 seconds become sacred. And tomorrow, live like someone who expects good news.